This video is for the benchmark quiz from day 4. This is to review it after you've taken it. So this unit's going to be the first half of Unit 3. So linear, a lot of linear stuff in this one. So right off the bat, question 1. The table represents some points on the graph of a linear function. Which function represents this relationship? Anytime they give you a table and they want the equation, do linear regression. So right here on your home screen, the green box list in spreadsheets, we're going to put an X next to the A, a Y next to the B, and we're going to type our values in. So the X's go underneath the X, the Y's go underneath the Y, and then menu 4, 1, and then linear regression is 3. We want this one. Change the X list to X, the Y list to Y, hit OK. Ew, decimals. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So the slope is negative 1.5 x, and the b is 4. Anything that doesn't have a plus 4 on the end is out. Out, out, out. Don't even have to change it. Your other options for this is you can play plug and chug. You have x and y values. So if I wanted to play plug and chug, what I would do, I'm going to take a wrong answer. Let's do this one. And I'm going to use this ordered pair. I'm going to plug the 10 in for, we're going to do this one, the y. And then the x is going to be a negative 4. All I'm going to do is type this part into my calculator and see if it equals 10. If it doesn't, there's no way that can be a right answer. Now, sometimes points work for multiple equations, but not all of them will. So I got a negative 8. So this side of the equation equals negative 8. That doesn't equal negative 10. You can eliminate that answers that way as well. All right, question 15. The graph of the function f of x equals x is transformed to form function g of x such that g of x equals 3 times f of x. Which graph represents f and g? So f of x is x. Sorry, this is so blurry. It looks like that's as good as it's going to get. All right, parent function. If you look here and you look at f on all these graphs, they're all the same. Okay? What we've got to decide is, what does this do to that function? Okay? So we know the parent function is x. So I'm going to graph that one. I'm going to graph x. The 3, see how it's outside the f of x? That means I can take the entire equation, which is an x, and just put a 3 on the outside. So I can graph that one as well. So I'm just going to do 3x. Nice thing about your calculators, they graph in color. So A and B are out because these two bad boys cross. So those are out. Now it's figuring out which way they cross. You can use clues. The red graph is our G. So if you notice, the G is on top over here. See? The other thing you can do is you can pull points. So if you pull the table, again, make sure you're looking at the right graph. We should have a point at 1, 3. So 1, 3, there should be a point there. That G should go through that point. 1, 3. So just some little tips to help you that way. All right, vertical and horizontal lines. Okay. Think about the points that are on this horizontal line. Write some of the points down. Pick 2 or 3. All right, so this point up here is negative 4, positive 4. This point here is negative 4 comma 0. This point down here is negative 4, negative 4. Look at what they all have in common. The x's are the same. Okay, that's your first clue. Vertical lines are always x equals. Always. Okay, so that means B is out, D is out. Now we have to pick the slope. So this says the slope is equal to -4. This one says the slope is undefined. The slope is undefined. It's vertical. A slope of -4. So let's think about a slope of -4. Means we're going to go down 4 over 1. So I should be able to pick any point and go down 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, and that line should go through it. Okay. Vertical lines, slope is always undefined. Horizontal lines are always y equals and then whatever the y value is. So if you notice here, all the x's are -4. That's why this is x equals -4. If you do this and all the y's are the same, it's going to be y equal that same y value. But horizontal lines always have a slope of 0. All right, next page here. Starting off with a word problem. A customer is ordering hats. Should say hats and t-shirts from an online store. Each hat costs $7 and each t-shirt costs $10. The customer receives free shipping if the amount of the order is over $100. Write an inequality that represents all possible combinations. Here's the important stuff. Hats are X. T-shirts are Y. So when we buy those things and the total is over $100, so hats plus t-shirts has to be greater than, I can look at my symbols here and pick, okay? How you know it's greater than or equal to, it will say that. If the amount of the order is $100 or more. This one just says over 100, which means 100 doesn't work, but $100.01 does work. So that helps with the signs. Has to be over $100. So we know some pieces now. So we know our inequality is going to be greater than, and we know it's going to be greater than 100. All right. Hats is X. T-shirts are Y. Go back up to the problem. Each hat cost, hat is 7. Hat is X. 7 goes in front of the X. T-shirt costs 10. T-shirt is 10. T-shirt is Y. 10 goes in front of the Y. So take it a piece at a time. With questions like this, sometimes they'll give you partial credit. So if you can get 2 of the blanks right, they'll give you credit. Oop, you don't need the X and the Y there. They're already plugged in there. So again, do something. Don't just give up. All right, 28. A line contains the points -2, -2, and 4, 2. What's the slope? Take your ordered pairs. Stack them up. Okay, take your ordered pairs, stack them up. Draw a line through the commas. The left side is X. The right side is Y. And we're going to do linear regression on this. So list in spreadsheets. Put an X next to the A, a Y next to the B. I'm going to type my X's in. I'm going to type my Y's in. So the whole point of this is to create a table to keep everything nice and neat, where you're not trying to go from this format to a table format. It's really easy to switch numbers. So if you make yourself an organized list, things stay a little bit neater. We're going to do menu, 4, 1, and then 3 for linear regression. Change the X list to X, the Y list to Y. All right, here's my slope. Gross, right? M is 0.6, and that 6 is going on forever. You can see it down here. See how it keeps going on forever? You can hover over it. So let's change that, because if you notice, the slopes are all fractions. Some of you guys know your benchmark fractions. You know what that one is. That's okay. It's okay if you don't know what it is, because your calculator is going to help you out. This is repeating. So I'm going to type a bunch of 6 in. I'm going to type 6 until this little arrow pops up. Whoop. See it? And then I'm going to do menu 2, 2. Okay? If you don't type enough in, see how it changes it? So repeating decimals, we type the number that repeats, and I always just taught kids until that little arrow pops up, and then do menu 2, 2. And that's my slope, 2/3. All right, last one. Printer ink costs $18.99 per cartridge. The company that sells the ink cartridges charges a flat rate shipping, should say of, $7.95, no matter the number of cartridges purchased in a single order. Which linear function models the total cost, T, for a single order of C cartridges? All right, let's go back to the problem. Printer ink costs $18.99 per cartridge. Per is a multiplication word, meaning we're going to take the $18.99 and it's going to be multiplied by the number of cartridges. Okay, but I'm not done yet. The company that sells the ink charges a flat rate shipping of $7.95. So no matter what, you got to add another $7.95 to the end of this. Okay, the key to this one is getting the pieces in the right places, the T and the C. So from here, A and C can be eliminated. If you notice, these two have the variable switched. Read it to yourself. Read it like a sentence. Cartridges, or the cost, equals $18.99 times the total plus $7.95. Okay? Total equals $18.99 times the cartridge plus $7.95. So you can read them to yourself in a sentence like that, and sometimes your brain will hear it and it'll make more sense. So that's it for this video.